Most college students today were born after Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 1968. Still, the memory of Dr. King allows them to reflect on his legacy to guide their academic, career, and personal interests. This presentation highlights the reflections of students from Cleveland State University and Cuyahoga Community College, as well as their response to his I Have a Dream speech given 50 years ago.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation.
Dr. King talked about history being made in our nation. I experienced that by 4 years ago, President Barack Obama being elected, the first Black African American being elected into the White House. A lot of times, my mother and her generation would have never thought of that ever happening. But to see it in my generation, that's the greatest thing, because that lets me know that there is still possibility of us taking a step and going after our dreams as well.
My participation of history being made in the nation and in the world came about as a result of a mandate that came down with regards to the people who were affected by the typhoon in the Philippines. We came together, student government, it was Phi Theta Kappa, it was the math club, the horticulture club, and the business club, and there were some of the other clubs that came together, and we raised money to send as part of relief efforts to those affected by the typhoon.
Part of being in a historical event is a great opportunity, such as the Hispanic Convention, where everyone is invited. We bring awareness to Latinos, we show them off positively, and we also, it's an opportunity for them to find jobs, and everyone is welcome to come.
This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Martin Luther King talked about the pursuit of happiness. Happiness to me is not about wealth and what you make. It's not about what you get, but it's about what you give. So happiness to me is about helping as many people as I can in this world.
A check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice.
Freedom and the security of justice means this is who we are as a society in America. I come from a long line of people in my family who have served in the armed forces, and you don't have to do that. You know, just be very engaging in your community and to secure those values.
We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now.
What I would like to address with an urgency of now is a lot of the social situations that we're dealing with, such as economic disparities and lack of self-esteem in young Black youth. I'm hoping that through my writing, I can address these issues and teach children that we are somebody too.
Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy.
Making real the promise of democracy. To me, I am actually a big part of that here at Tri-C's Eastern Campus, because I joined student government. I went to the school my first year and didn't like some things that were going on, or maybe wanted to see some things better, and also my classmates had complaints about things, so I decided if nobody else is going to get it done, why don't I do it? So I joined student government, and what that means to me is being a part of the process that you're involved in, having a say in the decisions that are being made to affect your life. And on a more global scale, nationally, people going out and voting, or people being involved in the democratic process at all, is you having a say in the things that go on.
Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice.
When I first started at law school, it seemed like I would never leave the library. The dark basement sometimes consumed all of my hours. But now that I've entered into my final months of law school, I can see that there's a community out there, people who need our services.
If you're in a moment of darkness in your life, just know that it will pass. and that anything that is going on now is only temporary. You will overcome it, and you will have people that will help you overcome it in the way. You may not understand what you're going through now, but just know that there's a brighter day ahead of you.
Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood.
The rock of brotherhood and sisterhood to me means community and equality. Means that nobody is better than the other person, and it takes more than one person to get things done. If we all work together, things will change.
There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights.
To be a citizen to me, that means that you're being a productive member of society. You're doing what you're supposed to, and you're keeping your nose out of trouble. You're following laws, and you're providing for your family.
We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline.
In Dr. Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream, he talked a lot about dignity, discipline, and positive attitude. Staying positive is a big part of basketball. They all relate. Discipline, staying in the gym, getting better. And they relate to other things other than basketball too, such as your job, anything you do.
Be disciplined and hungry for whatever you want to do. Paying bills or trying to be in school, you have to be disciplined and hungry. Discipline to get you far.
Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force.
These young ladies nowadays, they don't have the confidence, and they let people tell them anything that that doesn't benefit them. And basically what benefits them the most is having confidence, respecting yourself, and believing in yourself, and that's where it starts.
We all have up and downs, but at the end of the day, it's up to you. Stay optimistic, keep your head up, keep your head in the game, reach that goal. It's all up to you.
We cannot walk alone.
We cannot walk alone. As Dr. King stated in his speech, no man is an island and no man stands alone. And as board student scholar, it is my job to make sure that every student's dream come to pass.
If you ever feel isolated, reach out for a hand, because eventually you're going to find your way.
When will you be satisfied?
When I see my actors from my casting agency be successful in Cleveland, and when I also see my film on a big screen, that's when I'll be satisfied. Not a day more, not a day after.
Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive.
Being redemptive is the same as saying crisis creates opportunity. So in other words, there's going to come a time in your life where something's going to happen that's going to take you down a valley. But in that valley, you learn the lessons that you need to learn, and you come out on top, you come out on the mountaintop, and you come out and you are stronger than you were when you went into the valley.
Knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed, let us not wallow in the valley of despair.
Dr. King said this situation can be changed because I want to go back to Africa and bring those kids who are underprivileged over here to the United States and get a better education.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
All men and women are created equal, and this means to me that no matter what color, nationality, and creed you are, that we're out here on this earth to serve a purpose, and no one is bigger than the next person. We're out here to get an education. We're out here striving to be the best that we can be.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I have a dream today.
And my dream is that all African Americans would begin to dream again.
My dream is to shed a positive spotlight on Latinos, and not only Latinos, but all minorities.
My dream is to eventually start my own theater that does specifically plays in support of the LGBTQ community.
My dream is to become a mentor and a spokesperson for young Black African American women, and I also want to create a natural hair care product for Black women as well.
My dream is to graduate and become another positive role model for those young men in our community.
My dream is to be a professional basketball player and take my communications education into helping me be a broadcaster for sports, something like Charles Barkley or Magic Johnson.
My dream is to become a scientist in a pharmaceutical company so I can help the industry to discover a drug so that they can help to prevent any disease.
My dream is to become an attorney, to practice law in Cleveland, and to become a respected member of this community.
My dream is to make the world a better place with physical therapy.
My dream is to play basketball and use the platform that God has blessed me with to help others around this world.
And my dream is to help people in impoverished countries by working in a hospital setting.
My dream is to actually work for a news station and eventually work my way up to director.
My dream is to become a successful director and eventually open up my casting agency in Cleveland.
My dream is to become a professional basketball player. With this dream, I will try to accomplish higher standings for my family. I want to start a lot of businesses.
And my dream is to be the owner of an engineering company.
And my dream is become a fashion designer and take my creative arts to a next level.
My dream is to one day be able to point at a building and say that I was a big part of this building.
My dreams are to be a good role model, a successful parent, and a successful student.
My dream is to one day become a college counselor to assist students in accomplishing their dream with tools and avenues on how to better prepare for college during and after.
My dream is that we come together as a community and fight for our respect.
My dream is to transfer the world through my creative writing. I would like to teach children the art of literature, how to express themselves, and for little black girls to know that we can be princesses too.
My dream is to attend Cleveland State University in a business management program.
My dream is to get a PhD in library science and to go back to Tri-C Metro campus and run their library.